All right, I am back. Sorry about that. Her laptop works. It's too slow. So we need to go on my home computer. So pardon the mess. I try to avoid you seeing my moving mess, but it is what it is. I want to go over a few things today. I won't be on here long. In the next few days, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. I'm going to be doing the Stars and Fate of Rush Limbaugh. I'm going to do the forecast starting tomorrow for the next 10 days. So I'll give you that. And I did want to share, anytime I order from Etsy, I have my own Etsy store, but every time I order from Etsy, I always like to share when I've gotten something really cool. But I actually got this as a gift. It says, go smudge yourself, which is perfect because I usually use the other word many times. But my daughter bought me this over Christmas, and I forgot to share it with everyone. It has my tea in it right now. So this is from lunazingra.etsy.com. Luna.etsy.com. I know you're looking at that backwards. So, and they just sent me a coffee mug with some cool little refrigerator magnets. This one says something about Yule. This was from Christmas. And then there's this really cool one, something kind of witchy. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that because I love the mug so much. So take a sip of my tea and let's get going here. I want to talk about the coronavirus first. Let's talk about that first because everybody is in a frenzy about it. And the media is making it, the media is creating some hysteria in some ways. And I know that there's an outbreak and I know it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm going to share a couple of holistic remedies with you. The last one I cannot share because it would be considered plagiarism. You're more than happy. I will refer you to that site through Patreon, and you can, for $5, you can get the remedy. But the last one I'm going to share, I can't give you. It would be considered plagiarism. As one of his former students, I have every right to use it. I use it on my clients when they're in need, but I can't share it here on YouTube or in my website. But I will refer you to where you can share that. Anyway, I want to hold this up for a minute. I don't know if you guys know what that is. If you can't see it, it is the mighty onion. Yes, we're going to talk about the onion for a minute, okay? The onion has been used throughout the centuries for all kinds of different remedies. There's folklore behind the mighty onion, and I want to go over a little bit of it with you. I wrote some notes here, so bear with me. Now, the onion is supposed to cure all colds, coughs, high fever, sore throats, and it does boost the immunity in some way, the onion. And it's great. We use it for cooking, but there are a lot of holistic properties to it. So I'm going to go ahead and set this damn onion down. Now, you can take an onion. I guess I need to keep the onion. You take an onion, you can cut it in quarters. My grandmother used to do this, and she was from the old country of Italy. And I used to think it was just strega, you know, her being the strega that she was, holistic remedies. And I even looked online to see what doctors were saying about it. And I mean, one doctor had said that there's no scientific proof that this could help or cure or treat anything. And as a disclaimer, I am no doctor. These are just simply health remedies that can help you to build your immune system so you don't get the coronavirus. Okay? I'm not saying you won't get it. I personally believe this is population control. And a modern astrologer friend of mine came at me the other day, and I found it really interesting. I told her I'm going to have to look into this a little more, but she said every time Pluto conjuncts Saturn, there's some sort of an outbreak in every 20 to 34 years. And she was noticing, I don't remember if it was the SARS outbreak or Ebola, but and then there was the Spanish flu in the early 1900s. And if you go, she said, go check your ephemeris calendar on your software. And whether it's modern or divine, like I practice, I'm still able to go back in time and see where those two planets were and if they were conjuncting. And so I have to check that. But I'm going on her word because she is very credible and she is an amazing modern astrologer. She said every time these two planets conjunct, bad things like diseases happen. So I'm sitting there going, oh, wow. She said 20 to 34 years ago. I can't remember if she said 20 or 34. I think it's 34 years ago. It conjuncted and we had the outbreak of AIDS and HIV. Now we have this coronavirus, which originated in China. And just don't eat weird shit. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say that in a tactful way. Go eating bat soup and weird exotic animal parts from China. This is what you get. Don't be an idiot and eat crap like that. Ugh. Anyway, when I was a kid and everyone would get sick in the household, my grandmother would take an onion and quarter it in quarters. And she would take those quarters, 4 of them, and she'd put them in a bowl and she'd put them around the house. One in the living room, one in the bedroom of whoever was sick. And she'd put them all around the house. Yeah, the house got a little stinky, smelled like onions, but there are worse smells than that. We used to kind of think she was crazy back in the day. Okay, you know, with her little crazy Italian magic, and according to some doctors, it's complete BS. But you take it for what it's worth. I have used it in the past when there's sickness around. In fact, I got the flu probably 3 weeks ago, and I was only down for 24 hours, and I immediately treated myself with echinacea tea. Tons and tons of echinacea tea because echinacea boosts the immune system. Okay. Tons and tons of echinacea tea. I did the onion thing. And there's also another thing you can do. Before I get off the subject of onion now, I want to talk just a little more about it. Besides cutting it in quarters, you can also take it and soak it in like drinking water. And I would say soak it for about 6 to 8 hours should do the trick. And then you have to drink this, put it in a glass bottle, and you pour yourself a tablespoon. You want to do this 3 to 4 times a day, onion water with a tablespoon, 3 or 4 times a day. I've never tried that, so I don't know how that tastes. You'll have to let me know. Try it and let me know. Hello, Emra. How are you? And so then the next thing I want to tell you about is there is, like I said, the thing with the cutting in quarters, that goes way back to like the 16th century. This is like, we're talking Nostradamus's time, okay, doing this. But let's see, what else did I write here? Okay, now I also checked into Chinese medicine. And in Chinese medicine, in Chinese practice, they say putting onions near your socks. I know that sounds crazy, but putting onions in your socks or by the feet helps with reflexology. And it also, it kind of compounds, as I put it here, compounds and helps the body to help fight and kill bacteria. So I'm not saying these are cures because I personally believe that they already have a cure. This is just a simple way to eliminate some of the population. That's just my belief. And yeah, I may sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Anyway, that is about all of it for the onion. You know, it's great for a multitude of things, but if you cut it in quarters, it will help. You know, even though it's an old wives' tale, they don't believe anything about it taking the virus into the onion, but it does help somewhat purify the air in some ways. Okay, then there is another remedy you can take. Okay, I have my glass of water here. This is an 8-ounce glass of water. I have already measured and poured this, and I go and buy high quality, high grade oregano oil. I'm using a brand from a company called doTERRA. You have to make sure you're using high quality, high grade ingestible oil. You have to make sure the oil is ingestible. So you double check that. You can go to your any Whole Foods, Sprouts, Pharmaca, any kind of a natural holistic health store. Hell, you can even go on Amazon and order this. This is where I ordered it from, Amazon. I actually have a friend who is a distributor for doTERRA, and she was actually out of this, so I had to go through Amazon. I usually go through her because she's my distributor. But I am using doTERRA. There's other brands, Young Living. And you take, now they recommend you take 3 drops in 8 ounces of water. I don't recommend that. If you're not used to doing this, then you don't do it. Okay, I did this experiment 3 days ago on my kids, and they were like mortified with what I made them drink. I put 3 drops into this, and it was way too much. So I would start with just 1 drop. I'm not going to put it in because there's already stuff in here. But I put 1 drop into this, and I put too much. The other day I put way too much, and so I've been diluting it with water because it's expensive. And as long as you cover it, you can even keep it refrigerated, it will keep its consistency. I'm going to take a sip because it's not the most unpleasant, but here we go. It's not the most unpleasant, but it will definitely keep the viruses at bay. I was doing this to treat my flu too. I took 1 drop under my tongue, which is even worse than diluting it in water. But my virus lasted 24 hours, and my flu disappeared. So I bounced back really quickly, and that's because I babied my immune system. I took care of my immune system first. And just so we're clear, this is my disclaimer for this video. I am in no way a doctor. I have an AA degree in medical science, and that's about as far as my education in medicine is. However, I am a witch. I am an alchemist. I'm an astrologer, so I do know how to use certain methods through nature to heal and help. Holistic remedies are always the best. So you can use the oregano oil with the water, and if you're like my kids who can't tolerate it that much, drinking a half a glass a day or even a couple of tablespoons is better than nothing at all. Well, my daughter said, "You can't expect me to drink this whole glass." I said, "No, I can't, because I can't drink the whole glass down." Like I said, I've been nursing this for a couple of days because I had put too much in. And so when it got down half, I put a little more water in because I had put 3 drops. 1 drop to 8 ounces of water to start. If you build up an immunity to it, then you put the 2 drops to 8 ounces. No more than 3 ounces or three drops in 8 ounces, or you will burn. It burns. There's a burning sensation that comes with it. So I'll take 1 more sip. And I'm going to down it with some chai tea. Not the most pleasant tasting, but it isn't going to kill you either. Okay. That's another thing. High grade organic oregano oil. You can get it through Young Living, doTERRA, Whole Foods. Shop around. You'll find it. You can find anything on Amazon. Just make sure it's 100% ingestible. Keyword, ingestible. Got it? Good. Okay. The third thing is something I cannot share with the general public. I will give you his site. you can go to this site. I'm going to put it in right now. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm typing. I'm trying to read my own handwriting. I don't even know if that's the right one. Hold on. Let me just do this. Okay, there. Second one will work. Ignore the first one. There we go. Let me delete that first one so you don't get confused. All right, there we go. That is a place called Patreon, and it is a spiritual guidance. And this is something that my teacher, my former teacher, Dr. Tori, created. So therefore, I cannot share his natural blood transfusion juice remedy with you. That would be considered plagiarism, and I would get in a lot of trouble, and I don't want to do that. He does charge $5. You can take it for what it's worth. If you're that paranoid about the coronavirus, pay the $5 and get the recipe. I have this recipe. I do treat my clients who need a complete cleansing of their insides. I have suggested this remedy to people who are, some of my clients who are going through chemotherapy and cancer. And it's called natural blood transfusion for a reason. It will help you. It will. I know people who, I have a friend who has been using this juice for, she juices it every month, once a month. She's 60 years old. She looks like she's 38, 39, maybe 40 at best. So not only is this natural blood transfusion juice good for curing diseases, keeping immune system healthy, because, you know, an oxygenated body is a healthy body. Cancer can't live in an oxygenated body. It just can't. So you could go to that site to get the third thing, which is the natural blood transfusion. Like I said, I am not at liberty to share that, as it would be considered plagiarism. I am lucky enough to have this recipe in my book of shadows, actually. I've taken this recipe and put it in my own book of shadows because it's that powerful and that potent, and it can help with a multitude of issues and diseases. But you can go to his site and check that out. I believe it's called Spiritual Guidance with Dr. Tori. As much as I would love to give that recipe out, I can't. And I've had some people come at me very upset. But you know what? It's my ass that's on the line, and I'm not doing it. If you're my client and I've worked with you doing your stars or your tarot or any kind of soul cleansing, then that's a different story. But I just can't give it out for free like that. And it's not mine to give out. First two about the onion and the oil is common knowledge in magic and witchcraft and sorcery and working with holistic herbs and remedies. It's just common knowledge. But the third one, all I can tell you is this. I'll give you a few little. It will be the worst thing you ever drink in your life. It's not pleasant, but it will help. And it's made with a bunch of root herbs juiced. It's made with one specific type of fruit that's very good for the body. I will give you another key ingredient. It does have cilantro and parsley in it. That's all I'm going to give you. You will have to go to the site I just posted to get and pay the $5 if you want the recipe for that. That is about it for the coronavirus. Try everyone out there to not feed into fear. Okay. And I know there's a couple that just got diagnosed in a town three towns over from where I live right now, and they're in quarantine. So our local media is making this mass hysteria about it. And so I don't want my followers to feed into that media hysteria. Okay. Yes, it's going to get worse before it gets better, and more lives are going to be lost. Protect yourself now through holistic remedies to start, and take it day by day. Wash your hands, common things. I keep sanitizer in my purse. I think that's probably why my hands are so dry. I'm constantly using sanitizer. Be a bit of a germaphobe. You have to in this day and age. Be a bit of a germaphobe, and you should be fine. All right, on to politics, just for a brief moment. I had a friend of mine who is a psychic. I'm not going to mention his name. A little miffed at me the other day because I posted my opinion of Rush Limbaugh. Now, that's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it, just like those of you out there who love his ass. It's fine. It's my opinion. However, I have an advantage over even psychics, and that is I pull up his stars and I can see what's coming for him. And I'm going to go over that tomorrow. I'm going to do a video on the stars and fate of Rush Limbaugh. Not nearly as fun as doing the stars of Kobe Bryant. Not that that was fun to do. That was actually heartbreaking. But two very different men. But I'm going to do the stars and fate of Rush Limbaugh tomorrow. I wanted to talk about politics just for a minute. It's not my favorite subject. And in the next day or two, I am going to post Election Day 2020 and give you a forecast of what's going to happen on Election Day. I'm also going to run, now that the Democratic side has dwindled down a bit, I am going to do the stars of a couple of the candidates. Bernie Sanders, Buttigieg, whatever his name is. I'll even do Donald Trump's over again for everyone, because some of you haven't been, I don't even think I had a YouTube channel in 2016, just my Facebook page. So for some of you out there, you might not know how I determine the stars, and I'll do a breakdown of Donald Trump's stars as well. But let's talk about politics for just a minute. I know this country is very divided, 50-50. And I've said before in one of my last broadcasts, you can't have conservative without liberal. There are polarities like God and the devil, black and white, night and day. They're polarities. You can't have one without the other. And so with that being said, if you had something completely liberal or completely conservative, it would never work. I mean, we're already seeing the harshness of conservatism. Look at Alabama. That's my perfect example. Just look at Alabama. However, I want to talk about the United States right now and its economy. Back in November 18th of 2018, I have a YouTube video up of it. I said that there's a changing of the guards. This is when the North and South nodes shift its axis into another energy. And we had shifted from an Aquarian tail Leo head into a Cancer Capricorn energy. Okay, now the United States is born July 4th, 1776, so it is a Cancer nation. This dragon's head is sitting right on the first house of the United States of America. Mickey Mouse could be in office and the economy would do well, okay? Mickey Mouse could be in office and the economy will do well. It has nothing to do with the president, okay? Some of you may be offended by that, but I will tell you this. Time will always be my true confidant in some ways. You can laugh and snicker and sneer at me now, but give it time. Now we have an energy shift coming May 5th, 2020. It's going to leave Cancer and Capricorn, and it's going to move into a Gemini head and a Sagittarian tail. This is going to move, okay, from the United States' first house, and that tail, stars will not be shining on the United States after May 5th. Okay. So one of the main reasons our economy is doing so well is because the dragon energy is shining right on Cancer. I always talk about those two signs are being tested to their limits. Cancer has the more positive advantage than Capricorn right now because the dragon head is sitting right on you where your stars should shine. You have an extra dose of luck. The tail sitting in Capricorn. Capricorns are being faced with all kinds of trials and tribulations, including their own health. And guess who's a Capricorn? Rush Limbaugh. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm going to pull up his stars and we'll talk about him. This dragon energy is directly hunting for Capricorns. I know I'm a Capricorn. I'm feeling it. Not in health so much, but in other things. There's a lot of responsibility going on. Remember, Saturn is in Capricorn. Saturn in its negative state is the fear principle, the disease, the depression. And it's positive, it's structure, it's discipline. Okay, but it's negative right now, and it's sitting there on that first house for all Capricorns. December Capricorns, then it's sitting in your second house of money. Actually, that's Jupiter. December, January. Yep, second house. Jupiter's sitting there as well, and so is Pluto. And so if you're a December Capricorn, this energy is affecting your second house of wealth, possessions, finance. So December Capricorns and January Capricorns are always going to take on very different dragon energy, okay? If you're born in, say you're born December 29th, when I do a forecast, definitely read Capricorns, but you always want to read Sagittarius too, because in divine astrology, you're not just born in the sun sign in Capricorn, you're also born in the constellation of Sagittarius. So you want to read both. Anyway, that's what's going on in the realm of politics right now. Now, you see what happened in Iowa with this glitch? This is a precursor of things to come. Election day, Mercury is in retrograde. And if you think this is a fiasco now, just wait till election day. Okay? It's going to get even crazier. And there's going to be problems, computer problems. Remember 25 years ago when Bush and Gore were in the presidential race and there was the hanging Chad? Mercury was in retrograde then. There's always going to be miscommunication, chaos, confusion. And that's exactly what's getting ready to happen for, what is it, November 3rd of 2020. I think that's the next presidential election. Seeing what's happening in Iowa that's an omen. That is a direct omen of things to come. A lot of us can't see the signs. I can see the signs. That's an omen of things to come. So it's going to get crazy out there. I will elaborate more as we get closer to May on the changing of the guards, as I call it, and I'll do my predictions for the next 18 months. But as for the economy, like I said, Mickey Mouse could be in office and the economy will do just fine. But the energies are getting ready to shift, and that tail is getting ready to go into the United States' 6th house. This is a house of health, and this is the house of public service. Not public service, but service to the world is what I should say. And we're not going to look very good in the eyes of the rest of the world. This tail going on its 6th house is the internal health of the nation. And that's going to take a hit. And when you have a nation so divided, it affects you financially in some ways. And financially, it's something big is getting ready to hit. I'm saying I'm got to look a little closer at the stars, but I'm going to go with May right now, only because Uranus is in Taurus, and May, sudden release of energy, shocking. Taurus rules the banking industry, solidity, finance. Something major is going to come in May. There's going to be a big shift. Now, When this shift happens, I don't know how to say it in the right words. When this shift happens, it might not happen instantly because Taurus is a slow moving sign, and it gets there when it gets there. And with Uranus, that planet of sudden release of energy, it may take a while for you to see the signs, but you're going to see the signs as soon as you see the stock market drop. May, June, around there, July. As for Donald Trump, I'm going to do his stars another day. I'll do all the presidential candidates. Like I said, I'm waiting for the Democratic side to weed out all of their, to weed them all out, because I'm not doing all 20 of them, and now we're down to 10 or 5, and I'll do Elizabeth Warren's as well. So we've got Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Sanders, Buttigieg, and then, oh yeah, when you got those 2 millionaires that could buy themselves in, Tom Steyer, and what's the other guy? Bloomberg. So I was going to wait a few more months to do this, but a lot of people want me to do this. So, and I have the time right now. So I'll go ahead and do it in the next few days. I'll get that going. I'll probably come back on here tomorrow with a forecast for the next 10 days. And I'll probably do 2 videos tomorrow, one on Rush Limbaugh. And then sometime this week, before the weekend ends, I will do one on politics, a full one. But before I leave you today, I just want to say, you know, it doesn't really matter what party you're for. They're both liars. And there are some candidates that are better than others, because I could see it through their stars. There's a small part of me, and some of you are not going to like what I'm getting ready to say, but there is almost a small part of me, and he has the potential to get reelected, but there is a small part of me that wants Trump to get reelected, not because I'm a supporter of him, because I want this economy to tank under his watch, not the next president that comes in that has to clean up. I want this economy to tank under his watch. Of course, I don't know what that would mean for the country, the nation, and there are a few things that he has done correct, and I agree with. Not everything. The negatives outweigh the positives, but there are a few things he has done that have bettered this country. It has nothing to do with our foreign relations. In fact, the foreign adversaries that he is in bed with are going to come back. It's going to come back to bite us in the ass, and it'll be after this next dragon change, because this next dragon change is going to affect your president too. We'll talk about that when I do the stars and fate of Donald Trump as well. But do know that the economy may be great now. You wait till summer. And for those of you out there who do play in the stock market, get out. I've said this over and over again in my broadcast. Get out. Sell. If you want to invest, you go in something that's a little more solid. Gold, silver, crypto. Those are the places that you'll make your money. Even real estate, even though the stars are blessed right now, the market is still booming in real estate in a lot of different areas. I could speak from me looking at real estate myself recently. Arizona is booming. California, not so much, but Arizona is booming in real estate. And that's going to last for a few more months. Then this energy is going to shift. And so those of you out there that do like to invest in real estate, you might want to wait till the dragon shifts out of Cancer, because prices are going to drop. When the economy drops, real estate market drops. And those people that have the money to come in and buy in cash are going to benefit. Okay. But that's about it for today, and I will be running my full moon special in the next few days. I'm going to run another special, and I'm always here if you have questions, or have any kind of questions about what I've just gone over and discussed with you. Someone came at me telling me I'm harsh for not sharing that recipe. Can't. one thing I have is integrity, and I won't steal another person's work and claim it as my own. I just don't roll like that. And whether you like the person that I've referred you to for that recipe or not, it will save you. It will, at the very least, it will build your immune system, especially if you've battled cancer or any kind of kidney diseases, anything. It's a blood purifier, a natural, organic blood purifier. So check out Patreon, Dr. Tori, and get on there if you want that recipe. Check out theastrologywitch.com. I will be posting a new forecast tomorrow. And I'm going to also be posting some new stuff on Etsy. I have a couple of magical kits I'm going to be selling. I'll share them with you on here before I throw them on Etsy. And like I said, I'm always an email away, astrologywitch22@gmail. If you ever have any questions, wishing you a wonderful day out there. Peace.